Alright, hello everyone, and I'm back. Today I'm gonna go over, well, it's the same day to be honest, but I'm gonna go over the A tier of Pokemon who I highly recommend. These guys aren't as good for the Battle Frontier as the S tier, obviously, but they're still really good, and I definitely recommend using these if you're able to. So let's begin with Charizard. So Charizard is obviously a very popular Pokemon, and he has quite a move pool. I would recommend giving him more attack than special attack because his physical attacks are probably better. His ability Blaze is pretty solid. A lot of fire starters get that. But I would raise him in attack and speed, and the reason I wouldn't do special attack because the special attacks he gets, obviously he gets his fire based attacks, he gets Thunder Punch and Dragon Claw, and I think he can learn Crunch, but that's it. But his physical attacks are even better. So here I gave him a set with, I gave him two. Okay, so I recommend making him a mixed attacker. So here I gave him Rock Slide, Fire Blast instead of Flamethrower, Thunder Punch for coverage against waters, and Earthquake, of course. Now here's some more moves you can give him. If you want to make him a full-on physical attacker, you can give him Swords Dance, and then 3 physical moves. He can learn Brick Break, he can learn Aerial Ace, I think he can also learn Dragon Dance, which is a really good move for him. And of course like Double Edge and things like that. For special, I think I mentioned the special attacks you can give him. So the thing about Charizard, why he's so good, is that he has so many moves he can use, so much coverage. The problem with him is his typing. Fire and Flying get wrecked by rock types, water types, and whatnot. So you have to be careful of that. But Charizard is a great Pokemon to use. I actually won a gold symbol with him before, I think, so yeah. Blastoise, the other Gen 1 starter, I definitely recommend, because Blastoise is great defensively for your team. Being a tanky water type, he can learn quite a few moves. He's similar to Swampert, in my opinion, despite not being a ground type, but he's just not as good. So I gave him the exact same moveset as Swampert, but some other moves he can learn is, he can learn Mirror Coat, he can learn, I think Brick Break. Yeah, he can learn Brick Break. Just the typical water starter Pokemon moves that Blastoise can learn. But Blastoise is pretty good if you want some defense on your team. He's not bad. Charizard, I forgot to mention the item. I would give him probably a Lumberry, and Blastoise I would probably give Leftovers. You can maybe attach a Mystic Water onto Blastoise too to boost him more. I didn't train him any attack at all because he only has one attacking move and it's already really strong. So I just did Surf and Ice special attack to boost Surf and Ice Beam. Nidoking. Alright, so Nidoking is awesome because I love the Nidos because they get such awesome move pools. I've always loved them, like back when I would play Pokemon Tower Defense. But I gave him a Jolly Nature, which is going to raise his speed and lower his special attack, because he's better physically than he is special. And he has a really good ability in Poison Point, which poisons other Pokemon whenever either he makes contact with them or they make contact with him. Wait, yeah, I think I said that right. So I even train him speed and attack. His HP is pretty good. He is frail, but yeah, the only problem, like his attack nor does his speed, they can't really get over 300, but his move pool makes up for that. He can learn Mega Horn. He can learn, well, I don't think he learns Earthquake by level up, but you can give him Earthquake. You can give him Shadow Ball as well as Sludge Ball. Earthquake and Sludge Bomb being great stat moves. Shadow Ball to be coverage, and then Mega Horn for some more coverage, and because it's 120 base power. You can also give him, I think he can learn Aerial Ace, I might be wrong. If not, you can give him Brick Break, and of course, like, you can give him Rock Slide, you can give him Double Edge or Return, another set you can try and give him if you want him to be a special attacker, which I wouldn't recommend as much because, again, his special attack isn't as high. In fact, let me prove that to you and show you what his special attack is. His base... Okay, so his base attack is 102, his base special attack is 85. So yeah, it's not... Sorry. It's not as good, but just in case you want to give him special attack, he can learn quite a few special moves. Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, I think he can learn Surf, he can learn Flamethrower. So those kind of moves you can give him, but definitely give him that attack. So yeah, the main problem with Nidoking is just that he's not fast enough. He only has base 85 speed. His defenses aren't too good. He'll be able to take maybe a hit or two, but usually not. Alright, so Machamp, the main reason I put Machamp in the A tier, because again, this video is strictly for the A tier Pokemon. The reason I put him in A tier is because he has a really good attack stat. And he also has the ability that Heracross had, which is Guts. So I gave him Adamant Nature because he's really not that fast, so there's no point really training his speed. But he does have high HP, and his defenses are they're usable. You know, he can take some hits too. Whoops. Sorry. So there's the set I gave him: Bulk Up, Rock Slide, Rest, and Cross Chop. This is a good set if you just want to set him up as a strong wall breaker sweeper. Well, I wouldn't say sweeper because he's not that fast, but he can be a force to be reckoned with. This is actually, now that I'm looking at this is the same exact set he gets in the first round of the Battle Frontier. This is the set they give him, but you can replace Cross Chop with Earthquake or with Brick Break. But I just chose Cross Chop just because it's a really strong move. But some people may give him Seismic Toss, but you want to take advantage of that attack stat. You don't want to waste it on Seismic Toss. Rock Slide is for coverage. Rest, so you can go back to sleep. So you can maybe give him like Chesto Resto along with Bulk Up is really dangerous. So Machamp is really good to be your wall breaker. So here's Slowbro. So Slowbro is a defensive water type Pokemon. I gave him a Bold Nature. His ability is pretty solid. I guess it does come in handy because, you know, for all the people who love spamming Confuse Ray. But Bold Nature raises their defense and lowers their let me see. Lowers their attack. That's right. So raises defense, lowers attack. Now you can't get Slowpoke in the game, but these are his defenses. So he's trained kind of, I think I did HP, defense, and special attack, I believe. I did a little bit of special attack, but mainly defense and HP, so that he can take, you know, moves from ghost types, bug types, or yeah. You just have to really watch out for electric types. That's the main worry I would have with Slowbro. So yeah, because grass types, like, you'll be able to take grass moves, and you can hit him back with Ice Beam. But here's the moveset I gave him. It's pretty much the same as quite a few water types you'll see. So, but it's pretty solid. You know, 3 moves, 2 of them stab with Ice Beam for coverage, and then Calm Mind to raise the defenses. You can also give him like Rest if you want. Some people might give him Substitute. I don't know if he can learn Counter. Let me see something real quick. I gotta do my research more. This is all from heart from playing this game so much. But let me see. He can also learn Belly Drum. If you want to make him a Belly Drum sweeper, that would be hilarious. But he can learn Counter. He can learn Seismic Toss if you want to give him that. And he can actually, believe it or not, he can learn Flamethrower. There's only a couple of water types that can learn Flamethrower, but Slowbro is one of them. But he's great for defense, similar to Blastoise, honestly. But he has this stat raising move in Calm Mind, so I would probably give him like Leftovers I don't really see any other item being as useful as that, so yeah. I'll be back in just a moment, guys. Alright, I'm back. Oh, and the other move that he can learn is Earthquake too. He can learn Earthquake, but he only has base 75 attack. His base special attack is 100, defense is 110, HP 95, and special defense is 80. Slowbro is really good, and that's why I put him in A tier. The only problem with him is that he's obviously very slow, but I don't really care about him being super slow. He's awesome. I love Slowbro. Alright, Gengar. So Gengar is kind of a controversial Pokemon before the physical special split, because him being Ghost and Poison, both of those are physical attacks. Problem is, Gengar is a special attacker. His physical attack is like base like what, 50 or something. It's very low. It's 65. But his special attack is base 130 and his speed is 110. So Gengar's pretty frail, but he has a really good ability in Levitate, which covers ground types with this ground type weakness. So you don't have to worry about that. But that's the main problem with Gengar, is his typing for this generation. That's the only worry, but we're gonna head into his stats here. So like I said, he has really high special attack and really high speed, so I don't really see you like training him in anything other than special attack and speed. Those are the main two things. His HP is low as well. You may as well give him those two. Now here's the moveset I gave him. Instead of giving him 4 special attacking moves, I gave him 2. Psychic and Thunderbolt. Now here's the thing. If you give him Will-O-Wisp, you can outspeed most Pokemon and lower their attack with Will-O-Wisp, because as I mentioned before, when a Pokemon is burned, it lowers their attack. So it's a really good move to give him Will-O-Wisp. And then Destiny Bond, what that does is, if you use it before the Pokemon before a Pokemon kills you on that same turn, then they go down with you. So when you mix that along with Gengar's really high speed, it is deadly. Literally, like, it's so good. And so Gengar's good like that. Some other moves he can use obviously is Shadow Ball, but even though it's stab, it's not really that strong because it's slow attack. Sludge Bomb, same thing. But you can give him Ice Punch, which is good coverage. You can give him Giga Drain, which is also great coverage. But I just went with these two because these have better, you can cover, water type. You can cover water types better. So I feel like this is a really good set for him to have. Yeah. And I gave him Timid Nature to increase his speed and lower his attack. Marowak. Okay, so Marowak is a Pokemon you don't see people use that often at the Battle Frontier. I mean, 1, because you can't get it in Emerald, but 2, because people sleep on Marowak. Now, at first glance, you may think Marowak is just a regular ground type Pokemon. You know, it's solid, but oh, whoops, hold on. You may think, it's alright. It only has base 80 attack, 110 defense, 80 Spadef. It's really slow, and it has a low HP. So why do you put it in A tier? You know? Well, it has a solid ability in Rock Head. I gave it a Jolly Nature, actually, which is kind of weird that I did that. But here's the main thing about Marowak. Marowak sometimes comes with an item called the Thick Club. And if you don't know what the Thick Club is, it's Marowak's like signature item. And basically what it does is when it's held by Marowak, it increases its attack. And if I'm correct, hold on. I'm looking it up right now. I think it doubles. Let's see. Hold on, let me look it up real quick. I want to give y'all false information. I stand corrected. The Thick Club, when Marowak has it, it doubles his attack. I want y'all to think about that. Look at his attack stat now. It's 259. If he was holding a thick club, that would be 518 attack that he has. That is insane. That's absolutely insane. That's why I put Marowak in the A tier. Although his speed isn't that great, his defenses and stuff that great. With that, well, his physical defense is good and his attack is good. And with that thick club, he can do so much damage. Now here's the set I gave him: Sword Stance, Earthquake, Rock Slide, and Double Edge. This is pretty much the main moveset you're going to be using. You can also give him a Bone Meringue over Earthquake. Bone Meringue, it hits twice instead of once like Earthquake does. But one, it has less power. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm yawning. It has less power and it has less accuracy. But the main reason why sometimes people use Bone Meringue over it is so that they can try and see if they could get a critical on one of the Bone Meringue attacks. But I'm gonna just go with Earthquake. I would just go with Earthquake for that accuracy, because something about me is like, if there's any move that can miss, it will miss at the worst times. So, but if you want to go with Bone Meringue and save yourself a TM, then that's not a bad idea either. Rydon. So you got Rydon is a fan favorite because he was with us in the regular playthrough, our ASAP Rocky. But I love Rydon in the Battle Frontier because he is such a strong ground type, one of the best ground types in the game. He has really high attack and high HP, and his defense is pretty solid too. The rest is really bad, but the item I would definitely give Rydon is Quick Claw. Highly recommend giving him Quick Claw. And here's the moveset I gave him: Earthquake, Rock Slide, Mega Horn, and Double Edge. Now with Double Edge, you can replace it with Brick Break or Horn Drill if you want, but this is typically the set I would give him. Mega Horn is very interesting. He actually learns that at a high level, but that's going to be good for certain types, just extra coverage. And of course, Earthquake and Rock Slide is good for stab. Now I trained him up in attack and HP. There's no point in really doing speed because he won't be able to outspeed anything, and we're giving him the Quick Claw regardless. So yeah, you can give him some in defense too if you want to make him more physical defensive, but I would take advantage of his high attack stat. Vaporeon is a great water type. Another great water type that's in that's good for the Battle Frontier because it's a great defensive type Pokemon. It has high special defense, and it also has a great ability in Water Absorb to deal with those pesky water types that bother you. Gave it the Bold Nature to increase its physical defense, and here's its defenses. So its defenses, special defenses, pretty much the same. High HP, and its special attack, as you can see, is 256. I did not give it any EVs in special attack. That's from its base special attack, which is like, what? It's 100 and something. 110. So yeah, that's insane. Its base HP is 130. Defense is pretty low, it's at 60, but its special defense is at 95. Vaporeon's really good. Here's the moveset I gave it: Surf, Ice Beam, which is typical, but then let's look at Wish. So what Wish does, so think of the move Recover. Think of Recover, but instead of recovering you as soon as you use it, you wait a turn. So you use Wish, and the turn afterwards you're going to receive that HP. The reason why I chose Wish along with Baton Pass is because if you use Wish with Vaporeon and then afterwards use Baton Pass, the Pokemon you Baton Pass it to will get that HP, will restore that HP. Really good moveset. Now I think those you have to learn from Eevee before it evolves, but yeah, that's a great moveset. It can also learn Acid Armor if you want to give it that. Of course, it can learn Toxic. but Vaporeon's pretty good. The only problem with Vaporeon, you can't get Eevee and Emerald unless you trade over, so yeah. Alright, Snorlax. So Snorlax is another one of those Pokemon that have ended a lot of my runs because he is so bulky, and his ability is pretty troubling. Immunity. I've tried to top tick this thing so many times, and then I'm like, dang it, he has immunity. His other ability is Thick Fat, which is really good, but Fire and Ice moves are both special in Gen 3, so they're not going to do much to him regardless, so immunity is probably better. And then a Careful Nature, I believe it increases special defense and lowers special attack. I might be wrong, I think that's what it is. So I gave him the EV spread in HP because he already has really high HP because he's so big. I gave him summon attack, summon defense, and summon special defense. His special defense is naturally really high, but make sure you give him summon defense because Snorlax actually doesn't have good defense, so fighting type moves typically destroy him. But he has great attack, and this is probably the best set to give him. Often if you're new to like competitive or whatever, you'll hear the term Curse Lats, which if you give him this move, what it does is it raises a Pokemon's attack, defense, it raises their attack, defense, and it lowers their speed as long as they're not ghost type. But if you give him rest, and with the Chesto Berry, that's really good because again he has high HP, so it's going to take a lot to take him down. Give him Body Slam for stab, Shadow Ball for coverage. Now you could give him Rock Slide, you can give him Earthquake. I think he can learn Brick Break. Some people might give him like Rest and Sleep Talk with 2 other attacking moves. You can give him like Double Team, like Snorlax with Double Team. It's just the worst, the absolute worst. I hate it. But yeah, Snorlax is so fun to use. I love having him on my team. The only problem really is that he's really slow and his defense is pretty bad. And fighting type Pokemon have a field day with him. But other than that, man, Snorlax is awesome. Again, can't get him in Gen 3 though. Zapdos, alright. So we have the first Legendary Birds appearance from Gen 1. Zapdos is the best out of the 3 because it has a good moveset, and Electric and Flying is a great typing to cover ground types. I gave it the Hardy Nature, which is neutral, and then he has Pressure. And its EVs are pretty much spread throughout. Like it has some in HP, has some in speed, special attack. Excuse me. I think it has some in defense as well. But Zapdos, I would give maybe a Lumberry. If not a Lumberry, then probably Leftovers. But it's like a pretty versatile Pokemon. It's a good lead. And as generations go on, Zapdos actually got a lot better. But in Gen 3, it was still really good. So here's the moveset I gave it. Thunderbolt, Drill Peck, Tall Tick, and Protect. A little bit similar to Skarmory because it's so good defensively, but it's even better offensively. Thunderbolt does a lot. Drill Peck for stab. You don't have to give it Drill Peck, but I want it, I just want to give it one extra move. Tall Tick, Protect Stalling with Tall Tick is good. You can also give it like Whirlwind. You can give it where's some other? I think it can learn Reflect. But this, I think this is, oh yeah, and you can give it Rest as well. But this is the moveset I think is pretty good for a Zapdos. Alright, so Crobat is very interesting. Another one who we played the game with. Shout out to Rouge. But Crobat is very versatile. It's very fast, one of the fastest Pokemon with a base 130 speed. As you can see, its speed is a whopping 394. That's ridiculous. So the thing about Crobat is that it is like such a good lead, like so versatile, jack of all trades type of Pokemon. None of its stats are really bad. It has 85 HP, 90 attack, 80 defense, 70 special attack, which is its lowest, 80 speed, and then 130 speed. And then it has a pretty solid ability in inner focus. So this Crowbat, I gave it a Jolly Nature to increase its speed. And I gave it 3 attacking moves with Whirlwind because I couldn't figure out what its last move should be with these 3 attacking moves. But Sludge Bomb is good for stab, Aerial Ace good for stab, Shadow Ball for coverage, and then Whirlwind for fun. Now, if you wanted to be a midst attacker, you can give it Giga Drain. But I think, what other special move could Crowbat learn other than Giga Drain? Let me see. Because there's another one I was thinking about giving it. But I was like, let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just Giga Drain. But it can also learn Taunt. I wouldn't really give it Poison Fang if you can give it Sludge Bomb because it's weaker. It can learn Confuse Ray. Mean Look is a good move for catching legendaries. Haze. Haze is an underrated move. Actually, I would probably replace Whirlwind with Haze because that clears like stat changes, and for Pokemon that spam like double team and stuff, that's gonna save you. And Crowbat being really fast, you can outspeed the Pokemon that are about to like sweep you. Crowbat can come in and save the day. Highly recommend Haze with it. I think I mentioned Taunt. You can give it Torment. You can also give it Steel Wing for coverage against ice types, but I think this is a solid moveset to give Crowbat. Sloking. I gave this, I don't know why I gave it Oblivious. I gave it Own Tempo. But anyway, Sloking is more or less the same, like this Slowbro. They're very similar. Their stats differ a little bit. Honestly, don't know why Gen 2 added Sloking when Slowbro was already similar enough, but that's fine. There's not much to say. I did do a moveset that is pretty different than Slowbro's though. Instead of Ice Beam, I gave it Flamethrower. I think that's the only difference. That's pretty much the only difference. Flamethrower can cover grass types as well as bug types, which is even better coverage. So yeah, I mean, Sloking's obviously very slow. What's his base speed? 96, my goodness. So you can give this thing Quick Claw because they like to use Quick Claws on it. But yeah, I mean, Sloking pretty much the same as Slowbro, pretty much. That's all. Porygon 2, alright. So I really like Porygon 2. He's fun to use. The ability he gets is Trace, which copies another Pokemon's ability, which comes quite in handy if you're up against, let's say, an electric type Pokemon in a 1v1 and he has like Lightning Rod. Well, whenever you come out on the field, you use Trace. Now you get Lightning Rod, and he pretty much can't hurt you. So that comes in handy. Porygon has great special attack. It has good HP, and it's a little bit bulky too. Like, it can take hits too, especially special attack hits. It's not really fast, and its attack stat is not as high as its special attack, but it's doable. Like, it looks really low now, but that's because I gave it Modest Nature. But its base attack is 80, so if you want to make it physical, you can, but I would give it special because its base special attack is 105. Both of its defenses are in the 90s, but its speed is base 60, so it's like, eh. But here's the moveset I would give it. This is my most recommended moveset. With the Bolt Beam, coverage with Recover. Great moveset. He can learn Shadow Ball. He can learn Tri Attack, which is a great move actually. It has the chance of paralyzing, burning, or poisoning. No, not poisoning, freezing. I think he can learn Aerial Ace. He cannot learn Flamethrower, but if you want to run like a Sunny Day Solar Beam set, that would be pretty cool, but I wouldn't really recommend it. This is typically the best for him. I think that's the best for Porygon 2. Tyranitar, again, unobtainable, but Tyranitar is interesting because he has that dark type, which dark type moves in Gen 3 of course are special, but he has a cool ability in Sandstream, which will probably come in handy to do extra chip damage. I gave him Adamant Nature because he's not that fast. I did train him in speed and attack. Tyranitar's attack stat is ridiculous. I think it's based like, what, 130 something? Maybe, I want to say 135. 134. All of his stats are really good except for speed, which is base 61. But he's great for just dealing damage, and like, as you can see, like, his defenses I didn't even train him in, and they're both in 200s. So here's the moveset I would give him. I would run Dragon Dance on him, so that like one Dragon Dance, he'll probably be able to outspeed a lot of mons. 2 of them, he'll be able to outspeed everyone, as long as you can get hits off. Earthquake, Rock Slide, obvious with Double Edge, pretty obvious now, you get the point. You might say Crunch, but it's special attack, comes from special attacking side. Now if you're wondering like what special attack moves he can learn, he can get, I know he can get Flamethrower, Crunch. He can learn Outrage, actually. Not many dragon types can learn Outrage in this generation. So he can get Outrage, he can learn Fire Punch. He can actually learn Surf, that's right, he can learn Surf, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, like he can learn quite a few. You can also give him Brick Break and Aerial Ace if you want. Iron Tail, which has high power but low accuracy. Another good move to put on him actually is Taunt. Taunt is pretty good. And another good move, this is actually something you might not think of, but try giving him Sunny Day. Giving him Sunny Day will cover those water types who are going to spam Surf on him. I think Sunny Day can go along with Sandstream, so it'll weaken, like, water moves are already weakened, but they're going to be even more weakened with Sunny Day added. But this is probably the best set to give him, unless you want to replace Double Edge with like Brick Break, but yeah. Sceptile, so now we have our fellow Gen 3 starter, Sceptile, who's offensive. I would give him Timid Nature because he's better with his special attacks in this generation. So he's really fast and has great special attack. His defenses are low. And so here's the moves I would give him. These 4 special attacking moves: Leaf Blade, Stab, Thunder Punch to cover flying types, Dragon Claw, because why not, and Crunch for extra coverage. You can definitely make him a physical attacker as well, but think about it, Sceptile is like the only grass type Pokemon that can get Leaf Blade in this generation. You want to take advantage of that, but if you don't, his attack stat is 85. It's 20 lower than his special, but he can learn quite a few good physical attacks too. He can learn Earthquake, he can learn Brick Break, he can learn Swords Dance too as well. He can learn, can he learn Rock Slide? He cannot learn Rock Slide, but he can learn Rock Tomb if you want to give that to him, as well as Iron Tail and then the normal type moves. But I think this is the best for him. I can't really think of a set better than this. You can attach like a Miracle Seed or Lumberry or Choice Band, but that's a great set for Sceptile. And oh, I think that's it. Hold on. Oh, no, we have more. Okay, yeah. Alright, so Blaziken, the other Gen 3 starter. So yeah, I do have them both in a tier below Swampert, but they're still really good. So Blaziken, the fire and fighting type. I actually like Blaziken more than Charizard. I gave him Adamant Nature, which may not be the best choice because Blaziken's not super fast, so you can definitely give him like Jolly. Now this might be a bit weird giving him a Adamant Nature, which is going to lower special attack because I gave him Overheat, But the thing is, his special attack is still 230, and that along with overheat is still going to do a lot of damage. But adamant to boost that attack stat really high. But I feel like Jolly Nature might be better than adamant here. Whatever you like. But similar to Charizard, Blaziken is a great midst attacker. He can learn a lot of the same moves Charizard can, like Thunder Punch. And, I don't think he can learn Rock Slide though. Can he learn Rock Slide? I can't remember. Maybe he can. He can learn Rock Slide. Okay. He can give him Earthquake, as well as of course Brick Break. He cannot learn Solar Beam. Oh, yeah, that's right. He can't learn Solar Beam. The thing about Blaziken is that he's pretty bad defensively, but he gets one of the best fighting type moves in this generation, which is Sky Uppercut. So Sky Uppercut, higher power than Brick Break, but lower accuracy. Not many Pokemon get Sky Uppercut, period. So he learns this by level up. Rock Slide you can get from the move Tutor, Overheat by TM or Egg move. But he can also learn like Thunder Punch. I think I mentioned those. Oh yeah, and also you can give him like the Endora Reversal set that I talked about before. If you attach like a Salac Berry onto him, give him like Endora Reversal with 2 other moves like Earthquake and I don't know, Rock Slide. I don't know, something. That's also pretty good too. Ludacholo. Okay, so Ludacholo took me a minute to figure out like the best moveset for, because he's versatile. He's very versatile. I would rock like a Modest Nature on him. You can also give him maybe like Bold Nature. I think Bold Nature. But he has just a really good typing. That's the main like perk of Ludacholo, is that his type is so good. Water and Grass, like, you know, you can take so much advantage of that. And with he gets a Rain Dish, which is really good, as well as Swift Swim, which is also a really good ability. Now his stats aren't like overwhelmingly good, but they're good enough for him to be this good competitively, and for me to put him into A tier, because he gets 90 special attack, 100 speed def, 80 HP, 70 defense, which is manageable, and 70 speed again, which is manageable. So I matched out his, well, let's see, I did some between HP, speed def, and special attack, and this is the moveset I decided to give him. Surf for stab. Now instead of giving him Giga Drain, I gave him Leech Seed. Now the reason I gave him Leech Seed is because if you get Leech Seed along with, hold on, I'm an idiot. Wait, I gave him, whatever. So I gave him Leech Seed because if you do Leech Seed along with Protect, your opponent is losing health slowly and you're getting health, while they're also losing health from Toxic. So they're just losing a lot of health each turn, while you're getting health. Especially if it happens to be raining, you're getting even more health from Rain Dish, and then you have Ice Beam for coverage against like flying types. His only weakness is bug types and poison types and flying types, but that's fine. Like, Ludacholo's so good. He can take so many special defense or special attack hits. You can also give him Thunder. He can learn the elemental punches too. Ice Punch, which don't do Ice Punch over Ice Beam. Thunder Punch for coverage against flying types. Fire Punch, which is good against like steel types. He can also, again, he can learn Giga Drain. He can learn, I think he can learn Sludge Bomb. I might be wrong though. I can't remember. But yeah, Ludacholo is really fun to use. I love him. He's won me so many games in the Battle Factory. You don't even know. He's also made me lose several times as well. He's made me lose today because he loves spamming like double team with Leech Seed, and it's the worst. So if you want to give him double team with like Rain Dance and Rain Dish, that's also really good. Gardevoir. So Gardevoir is similar to Gengar in that she's frail, but she has much better special defense than Gengar, but she's a lot slower. That's the thing. but she can actually take advantage of her typing, and she also has a good ability in Synchronize. So I gave her a Timid Nature, and this is the move I gave her. Sidekick with Thunderbolt, Calm Mind, and Will-O-Wisp. Very similar to Gengar, except instead of Destiny Bond, I gave her Calm Mind. But if you want to give her Destiny Bond, that works too. She can have like the same attack set as Gengar. She can also learn, I think she can learn Fire Punch. I might be wrong. I think she can learn Fire Punch. She can actually learn Magical Leaf too, but that's only 60 base power. And you already have Thunderbolt for water type, so I wouldn't really waste your time trying to get that when you just get Thunderbolt through TM. But I think this is probably the best set you can give her. Maybe a substitute set is pretty good, with like Rest or something. But yeah, I would go with like probably Lumberry, and I think Gardevoir is good like that. Braylon, alright. Another. We didn't beat the game with Braylon though, but we got far with him. So anyways, Braylon's really good because he has an interesting moveset, and his ability effect for it is really good. So here's the thing, Braylon has really low speed. It's like base, what, 50, I think? Or is it 60? It's 70. Dang, I was wrong. Okay, so I gave him Jolly, which is good. So the thing about Braylon is he has really high attack. Okay, I exaggerated, but it's really high. It's 130. So I gave him speed and attack EVs, and this is the moveset I gave him. So the thing about Braylon is a Skirmish at level, I think, 44. He learns Spore, which is a move that puts the other Pokemon to sleep, and it has 100 accuracy. So he mixed that with Focus Punch, a move that hits really strong as long as you're not hit before you use it. So if you use Spore and then use Focus Punch, it's extremely powerful. Mach Punch for priority and stab, and then Rock Slide to cover flying types. This is deadly. Like, this moveset has destroyed me so much on Pokemon Showdown. Braylon is a great Pokemon to use. The only thing is, like, he's not that fast, and I think that's the main problem with him. His defenses aren't too good. But if you want to run a fun set like this, like, it's awesome. And what item would I give him? Not sure. I guess Lumberry, or maybe Leftovers. But yeah, Braylon's good like that. Oh yeah, and some other moves you can give him. You can give him Leech Seed. You can give him Sludge Bomb. You can give him Sky Uppercut. He can learn Sky Uppercut too. And yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I mean, there's no point giving him Giga Drain because he has really low special attacks. So yeah. All right, Slacking. So Slacking, on paper, his stats look ridiculously good. He has, I think to this day, he still has like the highest base stat total of any Pokemon ever. He has base 150 HP, base 160 attack, 100 defense, 95 special attack, 65 SpDef, and 100 speed. That literally sounds like a legendary Pokemon, but Slacking's just a regular Pokemon. There's a huge catch to all of this. His ability, Truant. Every other turn, Slacking is sleeping, or he's slacking off. So you can only attack with him every other turn, which really sucks. That's the main problem with using him. But he's still very powerful, so powerful that I still put him in the A tier. And a lot of people still use him to get gold symbols. The best item to give him will definitely be Choice Band. And I think this is the best moveset for him. Double Edge, Shadow Ball, Earthquake, and Brick Break. You can give him Aerial Ace, a lot of people do. And he can actually learn quite a few special attacking moves too. But I think this is probably the best set to give Slacking. With Choice Band, like, he goes crazy. Like in the Battle Pyramid, he's really good there to just outspeed and kill a lot of Pokemon. You can also give him Jolly Nature too to get his speed over 300. Because that is kind of bothering me. Medicham. Alright, so Medicham is a bit similar to Marowak in that its stats don't look all that great at first glance, but its speed is pretty good, and its ability is the main cool thing about it. Pure Power. It says it raises its attack. By raises attack, it means its attack stat is doubled. So that means this Medicham has its attack stat. It's basically, let's see, 438. 438. That's ridiculous. And when you mix that with the Jolly Nature, this is a great moveset to give it. High Jump Kick, Rock Slide for coverage, Bulk Up to raise stats, and then Fake Out as soon as you come in. Now, Medicham is pretty bad defensively, but you can also give it Recover. It can actually learn Recover. But again, I wouldn't really give it Recover because it has low defenses. It's probably going to get knocked out anyways. Excuse me. But I do wish Medicham was just faster. That's the main thing. It's not as fast as I would like, but it's still so powerful that it gets away with it. You know what I mean? Like if it lands just like one of these high jump kicks, man, it's over. I think it can also learn Shadow Ball too. Shadow Ball is a great move. You can replace Fake Out with. It can learn like Calm Mind and a few special moves, but its special attack is really low. Now, you could go with Baton Pass. Medicham can learn Baton Pass. So a good Baton Pass set would be like Calm Mind, 1 or 2 attacking moves, and then Baton Pass. That's a great move from Medicham. Or great set. But I think this is probably the best set I can think of, in my opinion. Reggie Ice. So this is the last Pokemon in the A tier. Reggie Ice is the first Reggie legendary we have from Gen 3. It has really good Spadef, high HP. I trained it up in defense because its defense is normally not that good, and it naturally has high attack, high special attack. I mean, now thing about its special defense, I believe its special defense is base like 150, so it's really good, and you can actually use this thing in the Battle Frontier. That's the reason why I'm showing this. All the Pokemon I'm showing here, you can use in the Battle Frontier. Otherwise, I wouldn't be showing them. And you can actually catch Reggie Ice in Pokemon Emerald too. So here's the moveset. Only thing about Reggie Ice, he doesn't get the best of move pulls, but he can learn the Bolt Beam combo with Rest and Explosion. And I think that's probably the best to give him. He can also learn, I believe, Counter. You can give him like Body Slam. Let me see. Superpower, which is high attack, but it lowers his attacks, and he already has a low physical attack. You can also give him a Zap Cannon, but that's only 50 accuracy and low PP. You can give him, let's see, Brick Break, but I mean, you get the point. So I think this is probably the best. You can also give him Toxic maybe to like special defense stall. But this is one that I really like, and he would go well with like, I don't know, like a ground type or something. But that will do it for this video. That covers the A tier Pokemon. So next time we'll go over the B tier, which B tier Pokemon, well, I mean, they're B tier. They're good, but they're not great. But I would still, like, I wouldn't knock you for trying them because they're probably fun to use and they have some good quirks about them. So we'll talk about that next time, but these are all the A tier Pokemon that I recommend. Quite a few of them aren't like available in this game, unfortunately, but they're still pretty good. So I'll see you then.